Hello everyone, welcome to this video on the Delta emulator. So about a month ago, something really exciting happened before the emulator was released, and I'm sure you are, if you're watching this, you're probably aware of the emulator. Apple announced that they're going to allow emulators on their App Store. So this is a big deal because before, if you wanted to emulate consoles, so with this emulator, a Delta emulator that we're talking about in this video, I'm going to go over it, how to set it up as well. You can emulate Game Boy Advance games, Game Boy / Game Boy Color games, Nintendo DS games. These are the three handheld ones I got, but you can emulate NES, SNES, and N64 as well. They have said there's more, the developers have said there's more coming, so we could, I guess, get 3DS, we could have, GameCube as well. There's a potential for Switch, especially with the more powerful devices like the iPhone 15 and the iPhone 16 coming out in a few months. That's obviously going to come out. iPads as well. The new iPad was just announced, I think, 2 days ago or yesterday. And as a result, we could really see a Switch emulator. So I think there's a lot of possibility here. But again, the big news is the fact that Apple is allowing it now. And when they made this announcement, they said that the developers making these emulators need to make sure that all of their, emulators are meeting with the legal, they're compliant with the law. Obviously, they have to be very strict with it. As soon as that announcement was made, a bunch of applications came out for emulation. Many of them got taken down. One for spam. Two, they weren't quite up with the the compliance of the laws of the particular countries that they were publishing from. So that's something to bear in mind for all the developers watching out there. Though the floodgates have opened now, you still have to be careful. You still, all eyes are on the Sonar applications, at least for now. As a result, you've got to, if this is, kind of the, where you need to be, legally speaking, most of the apps can hover around here. And depending on the popularity, they can just go to here depending on their popularity. Before, emulator stuff, you've got to be here. You've got to be like squeaky clean. Any small thing, like I said, even stuff related to spam, which other apps don't necessarily get taken down for, they're getting taken down. Apple, though, has allowed it. They don't want any backlash from companies like Nintendo and Sony. They are being very careful with this, rightfully so. So yeah, we're going to see a lot of great content coming out soon, a lot of great emulators, and what could this mean? We could see so many more emulators. We'll cover that in a second. So, released a month ago, the Delta emulator. It's had over 5 million downloads to date. I've mentioned the systems: NES, SNES, DS, N64, Game Boy Advance, and Game Boy Color / Game Boy as well. Supports all major controllers, so Xbox, PlayStation, etc. MFI. It's got save states, typical for emulators, but you want to see. That's one of the main reasons I love emulators. Data syncing via Google Drive and Dropbox. Again, not in all emulators, but it's definitely welcome that it's there. It's got gyroscope, microphone support, plus much more. Feel free to take a look at the Delta website for more information. And again, if I haven't already mentioned it, one of the beauties of this is before, if you wanted to emulate, you had to do it on like a computer or maybe an Android device, or if you want to do an iPhone, you generally probably have to jailbreak or do something along those lines. Now it's on the App Store. It was number 6 in entertainment today, as of recording, when I just checked a few minutes ago. That's insane. It is literally one below Amazon Prime, a few above BBC iPlayer and Paramount Plus. Like, it's there and does not seem to have been taken down. So it's very exciting times. So enough about me talking about the emulator and all this other stuff. Before I actually show you some stuff, I just want to say this video does not condone piracy. Obviously, you should own all the games that you play, have rip ROMs yourself, etc., including any BIOS files. You should get them yourself, etc. You can always Google it. It's not hard. I will show you the setup process as much as I can. Legally speaking, there's a couple of files that I can't show you, but if you Google how to, attain them, whatever means you want to use, you can find them. It's not too difficult. So yeah, without further ado, let me show you some gameplay first. Then I will show you how to set it up.
It's me, Mario! Hello! Okie dokie.
Dear Mario, please come to the castle. I have baked a cake for you. Yours truly, Princess Toadstool. Peach.
해고. Huh? Hmm? Here I go. Here we go. It's so nice.
Now that you've seen all that gameplay, hopefully I was good enough for you guys. You wonder how you get this, this, and then the other three consoles. What is the only ones I've got to hand into this, the iPhone. Okay, so let's switch over to the iPhone screen. I'll show you what to download, where to put it, and how to get it working. Pretty simple, to be fair, but I'll show you anyway. See you there. Okay, so now we're wondering, how do we get Delta onto our iPhone? Okay, so you can see I've already got it, but you go to the App Store. You literally search for Delta. Go to Delta Game Emulator. Make sure it's from Desktop Tech, the all-in-one GBA for iOS successor, so the developer, Desktop Tech. The reason I say that is you still have to be vigilant. One of the main problems that plague emulators is viruses. It is, bad, actors that try and get your data, try and mess up your devices. Just because, and I know a lot of users and gamers are going to think this, just because it's on the iPhone now, or more specifically it's on the App Store now, that it's fine, it's virus free. Still be vigilant. So you got to make sure you gain the correct one. There might be some other one that looks very similar. It's happened before in the past with other emulators, especially on Android. Just be careful. Okay, it's number 5 now in the entertainment chart. It was number 6 about half an hour ago, which is pretty crazy. So if I click that, as a side note, it is ahead of Amazon Prime Video now. Already ahead of Disney Plus as well, which is pretty darn insane. So now, obviously, you just got to make sure you download the emulator and go to your home screen. Launch it at once, so it creates some folders, then come back, go to your files. This is just built in on your iPhone. Go to browse. You want to go to, on my iPhone, got a nasty cough, go to Delta. Here, there's 2 folders that won't get auto created, BIOS and ROMs. First of all, if we go to ROMs, I've created a folder for each different console. So DS, GBA for Game Boy Advance, GBC for Game Boy Color, N64 for Nintendo 64, SNES for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System, NES for the Nintendo Entertainment System. Put the uncompressed files in here for each one of them. I've just put 1 for each console for now. And in BIOS, I've got the DS BIOS files. The other consoles don't need it, but I would still recommend putting it organized properly like this, because when they add more support, like 3DS, like GameCube, and Switch, you're gonna need more BIOS files. So keep them organized. So these are the 3 main ones. You need BIOS 7.bin, BIOS 9.bin, and firmware.bin. Again, I can't show you where to get these, but you obviously can just copy them over here. And to, like if you have them from somewhere else, you just literally keep it pressed, press copy, go to where you want to paste it. And same with the games as well. So make sure that you have all these files. Once you've done that, you're going to go to Delta. And in here now, I'm going to go to the gear icon. And we'll go over the other few things in a second. Go to core settings. You want to go to DS BIOS files. Mine says tick. Yours will have an X. You just select each one. And you just make sure that you go to literally here on my iPhone, Delta, BIOS, DS, and this was the BIOS 7.bin. Repeat the same process for 9.bin and firmware.bin as well. And that's it. You're done. You're all set up. Just need to add your games. You can add up to 4 controllers, obviously for consoles that support it. You can have touchscreen or connected controllers. I've got non-connected, that'll be a separate video. Different controller skins as well, which is pretty cool. If you select one, you can add more, so you can add your own image as well, which is pretty darn awesome. And controller opacity, respect silent mode, haptic feedback, etc. etc. Delta Sync is Google Drive and Dropbox. And that's pretty much it. Now, to add your titles, so this DS section will not appear until you add those BIOS files, then you'll have the home screen option. But you click plus, click files, you navigate to here. You know, again, for me, it's from here on my iPhone, Delta, ROMs, and you just add them all one by one. So again, you can select them all, like select all, but again, in this folder, there's only the one. Click open. I'm going to select the next console, which is GBA. I'm going to select the console after that. It's appeared. It's just like a tab-like system. And ROMs, GBC. Again, it's just the initial setup process. What I do hope is that they, again, I don't know if this is an Apple limitation because I feel like they would have done it, but I hope they allow you to just select a folder for DS, for Game Boy Advance, for GBC, or for all your games, and it just automatically scans it. That would make things a lot easier. We'll see. I feel like that's a feature that will come if it is technically possible within the confines of the, the Apple App Store's, regulations. Again, that's the other thing. You might have that feature on another emulator, even on a jailbroken iPhone, but if the Apple's App Store doesn't allow it, the big emulators aren't going to put them in. Though the more popular one, like this, is over 5 million downloads because they don't want to get, get taken down for something so silly. So now you just go through any of these, you just literally select it, and you're good to go. So I've already shown gameplay, but DS is the only one that won't work without the the BIOS file. So you got to make sure you have them. And before I select one, for example, like this, if you keep it pressed, you can rename it, change the artwork, change controller skin, and this is just for this game as well. So you can change the controller skin just for this game on this console, which is pretty nice as well. So if you want a particular one, again, that's not something I'm that interested in, but I know some people are. You can check these save states, import save file, export save file, and if you play it. So on all the games, you will have noticed there's a menu button. If you click menu, there's save state, load state, cheat codes. Again, you can import them. I'll have a separate video on that. Fast forward. If I click resume, it's a lot faster now. It's great for, unskippable cutscenes. Hold button if you want to be able to keep a button held, some sort of button bashing game, for example, or this racing game, possibly game. And that's it. If you click resume, resumes it. If you click menu and main menu, it goes back, but it's still in the background mode. And you can switch between the different consoles. That is how easy it is to set up your Delta emulator to play all these different consoles. So that is it. So as you can see, it is actually really simple to set up the emulator. I'm going to have a lot more videos covering the Delta emulator, from save states to controllers to cheats to skins as well of the different controllers, and update videos as things change, if there's new improvements, or if there's new consoles that are added. And also just within this emulation space on iPhone is going to be big. Plus also right now there isn't an official specific version of Delta for iPad that is being worked on by the developer. So once that comes out, I will create a video on that. So it will be very similar, but it'd be good to see how that performs, to see how that looks in comparison to the iPhone. So wrapping up, what does this mean for emulation? I mean, it's going to reach a lot more people. There's always that thing of, if you was enthusiast, if you was I want to say, a pirate, but someone that, didn't care too much about, I'm going to buy the game, that's the only way I'm going to do it. It was always like, they're emulating it. Whereas now on iOS, I feel like it's going to add a lot of, customers and gamers and users that it just wouldn't have otherwise. So I think that's going to be great for the emulator community, because it just means there's going to be more development and better emulators. And how long will it be online for? We don't know. The thing is, Apple is allowing it. This is not got within the cracks as other applications have, and that they're going to find out and they're going to take it down. Even if they do something, especially an app now this big with over 5 million downloads, even if they do something that goes against Apple's policy and it gets taken down, I feel like that'll be a temporary measure. They'll just fix it up, whatever policy they've broken. They'll work with Apple, probably via email, and get that sorted. Get back online. So I think he'll be on for a while. I'm sure Nintendo's on there, so I try to take it down, but clearly to no, success so far. And what about emulators from other consoles? I can definitely imagine we're getting some proper official PSP consoles. PSP emulator, PS1, PS2, like PCSX2, PS3. I know a lot of people will want it. So again, this is another warning. Watch out. On Android, you see a lot of fake emulators, especially PS3, because it's just not really practical to run that on your Android device. Whereas people still download it because they really want it. PS2, it's doable, especially on a powerful device. You'll get some decent performance out of the games. But PS3, be careful. People put PS4, PS5, emulators on there. They'll be fake, but people will do it. So again, be very careful with that. But yeah, we're gonna get Switch emulators. We're gonna get, what else is there? I'm trying to think. Maybe Xbox, possibly. I think PlayStation, more so. I think we'll get some emulators that not just Nintendo. They'll bring a lot of other consoles in there as well. Again, it'll be very interesting, to see going forward. And another thing that I'm excited about is this is an Apple policy for the App Store. This also, as far as I'm aware, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, extends to the Apple App Store on Mac. So that means we could literally see a PCSX2 or some sort of PlayStation 1 emulator or something else like Delta you can actually get on the Mac App Store right now. It's the iPhone version. It's not a specific Mac version, but I think we're going to get that as well. If not Delta, something else. We are all RetroArch or something along the line that is coming. I think the next, because we're in May right now, I think till December, like the next 7 or so months, it's going to be very exciting for the emulator community. And I think not just directly on Apple platforms, I think as a result of this, I think there'll be a lot more money and investment and developer effort put into it that probably wouldn't have gone there otherwise, because it was like, it's just going to get wasted because it's going to get taken down. There's all these legal issues. But now that Apple set a precedent, I think this is going to, make it go a long way. I think, obviously, it's on Android anyway, things are in there. But I think they'll, put some sort of similar policy in place as well. So it's just like, welcome. As long as you comply with the laws, of said country, as long as you comply with our regulations, which you can see, you can still get a decent emulator out of it. Look, to be honest, it's, obviously still got to do a bit of setup. They can't really provide, BIOS files, and a lot of emulators don't. That's how they get around it, from the legal aspect. You'll be good. So I think it's very, very exciting, and I'm looking forward for the next 6 to 7 months of what it brings for the emulator community. Again, if you like the video, just give it a like, or don't. You do what you want. But yeah, if you like the video, hit that like button and subscribe. And let me know in the comments what you would like to see next, especially around emulation and specifically the Delta emulator. So I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye bye.